In this episode, we are going to cover Zoho's operations and finance apps and how they work together after the deal closes. We are going to start with the operation sides, how delivery happens, how projects and teams execute, how tasks are managed, and how you keep work organized as the business scales. Then we are going to go to the finance side. We'll talk about invoicing, accounting, expenses, billing, and payments, so you can see how revenue turns into cash and how finance connects back to the rest of the business. The goal is simple. I want you to understand what each app is typically used for inside the business, so you can make an educated decision about where to place each application in your own setup. This is actually my 7th Zoho One video I've created in my career. And every time I create a new Zoho One video, they are adding more application, more use cases, and also we as a company, we have more examples from the field. So I hope you will enjoy this session. Now, quick intro in case this is the first video you see from me. My name is RouteIQ. I'm a business automation specialist and the founder of Amazing Business Results. We are a premium Zoho partner operating in Canada, USA, and also in Europe. We usually support small and medium-sized businesses since 2013, and we currently hold the most 5-star reviews in the Zoho. And one quick note on the structure of those episodes. This is episode 3 of a 4-episode series about Zoho apps, where Zoho One is a subset of this ecosystem. Episode 1 is the business case, the real problem Zoho One solves, and why companies choose it. Episode 2 is the revenue side, sales and marketing. Episode 3, this episode, is operations and finance. What happens after the deal closes? And episode 4 will cover the rest of the Zoho apps: HR, collaboration, analytics, security, and the platform tools. On the screen, you will see the timeline with all the applications we are going to cover in this episode. So if you want, you can jump directly to the specific application that you care about, or you can watch the entire episode and stay with me. I also recommend saving this video for later use. A lot of people come back to this type of videos as a reference point when they're designing or improving their Zoho setup. And if you find the content useful, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell icon so you don't miss the next episode. Let's start the operation side, and the first app we are going to talk about will be Zoho Projects. Zoho Projects is where the business actually delivers. Zoho CRM will be the place that you sell, while Zoho Project is where you deliver, the execution. And for many companies, this is where things become scalable or completely break to pieces. Zoho Projects give you structure for delivery: projects, milestones, task lists, dependencies, owner, due dates, internal collaboration, and even client visibility when needed. But the real value shows up when Zoho Project is connected to the CRM, because the moment a deal is closed, a project can be created automatically from a template. The right tasks are assigned, the right team is involved, the timeline is already defined, and most importantly, the delivery team get context. What was sold, what was promised, what's the scope, and what deadlines were agreed to. That removes one of the biggest operation pain points in most companies: the sales to delivery handoff. Now, on a personal level, there are 2 capabilities in Zoho Projects that I really like. The first one is planning with capacity. Zoho Project has utilization and workload reporting that shows you who is available and who is not. So instead of guessing, you can plan project with the team based on real capacity and availability. That one feature alone prevents overload, missed deadlines, and constant firefighting. And of course, over communication with the management, with the people, the team leads. Way too much communication. I personally don't like communication. I know every business needs to have communication. I don't. I want the systems to tell me what to do and when. I sell a project, I need the project to be executed. I go to Zoho Projects, I look at the report, I see that Wednesday I have Jennifer for 5 hours. The project will take 3, perfect. I push it there and then it's done. I don't need to ask Jennifer if she's busy. I don't need to ask anyone. This is how I see business and how it should work. I don't want to see email, I don't want to see messages, and I don't want people calling me. That's me. If you are like me, Zoho Projects will give you this beautiful feature. The second is project profitability. Your team can submit timesheets directly inside Zoho Projects, and when Projects is connected to Zoho Finance apps, those timesheets can flow automatically into the finance side. That means invoices can be created based on real work that was logged. And even better, if you can track project profitability by matching the time spent against the income collected. So you have the project itself in your finance system, you will have one bar will show you the income, invoices collected or invoices generated, and on the other side you will see work done, which means money you're paying for payroll and other expenses. So bottom line, you can see the profitability for this specific project. Priceless. Now that solves a huge problem because most companies, they deliver projects without really knowing which projects are profitable and which ones are silently losing money. Here's a pattern we see all the time. A company sells well, but delivery feels chaotic. Projects are managed in people ads, deadlines slip, customers follow up more than they should. Once Zoho Projects is implemented properly, delivery becomes a repeat cycle. Every deal follows a similar execution flow. Everyone knows what's next for the project, and management gains visibility into what's on track and what's in risk and where's the bottlenecks. So Zoho Project is not just a project management software. It's the operational backbone that makes sure that the business actually delivers what sales actually sold. Next is Zoho Creator. Zoho Creator is a fantastic platform. It can do a lot. It's Zoho's low-code environment when you can build custom applications, workflows, dashboards, and even portals when you have a business process that doesn't fit neatly into the Zoho ecosystem. But I want to add something super important from our experience. Zoho Creator is often overused. Here's what happens. A business owner goes to a developer and requesting a feature or a solution. And most of the time, the developer first instinct is Zoho Creator because it feels unlimited. You can build anything. But in practice, about 99% of the time, other Zoho applications can do the job faster and cheaper, such as CRM modules, projects, desk, books, inventory, forms. Approvals and workflows live inside the native applications. The difference is huge. When you go native to a Zoho app, the core functionality is already built. You're not building the foundation. You're customizing what already exists. That speeds up development dramatically, reduces cost dramatically, and makes the system easier to maintain in the long term. So here's how I think about Zoho Creator. Zoho Creator is not the default. Zoho Creator is the tool you use when you already validated that the processes that you want cannot be created on existing Zoho applications. When the workflow is unique, only then I will go to Zoho Creator. But if you can solve the problem inside a native Zoho app, that's usually the smarter business decision. Now I want to add one more thing. Sometimes you will have, let's say, Zoho CRM that can give you 90% of what you need, and then you just need 10% that Zoho CRM cannot deliver. In that case, most developers will go to Zoho Creator. What I like to do is I will build it in CRM, and I will create a small component in Zoho Creator that will attach to Zoho CRM. So Zoho CRM will have the 90%, 10% Zoho Creator, inexpensive, works great, next to the next project. Okay, next we have Zoho Flow. Zoho Flow is Zoho's integrations and workflow automation platform. It's designed to connect applications and automate the movement of data and sections between them. Think about like Zapier. So instead of people copying information from one software to another, Zoho Flow can do it automatically for you. Now, I want to add an important point from our experience. Personally, I prefer direct integrations between applications whenever possible. Now, yes, it might cost a bit more to set up it properly, but it's stable as a rock. When systems connect directly, you reduce moving parts and you also reduce the chance of silent failures. Third-party connectors such as Zapier, Make, N8N, and also Zoho Flow can be super useful, but they are still dependent on multiple factors to stay stable over time. APIs can change, fields might change, permission change, limit change, connectors update, and so on. And when any of those updates are taking place, the connection breaks. Now, when those connectors break, in most cases, you know it when the customer is shouting or when your accounting is saying, hey, where are the invoices that's supposed to be created? So, bottom line, always go with a direct integration, and if it doesn't work, Zoho Flow can do a great job. Zoho Flow is coming out of the box with hundreds of predefined integrations. You just need to have a few clicks of a button and then voila, it works. So to summarize, Zoho Flow is not the first choice for stable as a rock connection, but it's an excellent tool when you need flexibility, especially compared to many other connector platforms. Next is Zoho Sprints. Zoho Sprints is built for teams that don't deliver work as one big project plan. They deliver work in cycles, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. This is what you typically see in software teams, product teams, and agile delivery teams. But honestly, it's not only for software. We've seen operations teams work with Zoho Sprints when they want that same rhythm, a backlog of work that is clearly defined, clear priorities, and short cycles. The big idea behind Zoho Sprints is simple. Instead of having a project with 200 tasks and a vague timeline, you organize work into backlog and then commit to a small set of functionality for the next sprint. That changes the execution quality because the teams stop trying to do everything and work on 200 tasks and start doing the right things in the right order. Zoho Sprints gives you a structure to do all that. It creates a backlog management, sprint management, daily visibility into what's in progress and what's stuck. And what I like about it is that it creates clarity without requiring every process. If work isn't moving, you see it. If something is blocked, you see it. If priorities are changing, you see it as well. And that's important because most operations are failing not because of people. The visibility is the problem. and Zoho Prints give you this type of visibility. Now, some people will say Zoho Project is about projects, Sprints is about projects. What's going on with them? Zoho Project is excellent when you're running delivery that is milestone based, like client projects, implementations, service delivery, anything with a clear start and finish. Zoho Sprints is excellent when you're running continuous delivery, product development, internal improvements, ongoing optimization, anything when the work never really ends and you need a clear way to prioritize and execute those cycles. Next is Zoho BugTracker. Zoho BugTracker is built for teams that need a clean way to manage issues. Most companies have the same problem. Issues are reported in too many places. Someone emails a problem, someone posts in the chat, someone mentions it in a meeting, someone writes it in a spreadsheet. And then what happens? Nothing. Nothing is prioritized, nothing is tracked properly, and half of the problems get solved late or not at all. Zoho BugTracker solved that by giving you a dedicated issue management system. Every issue becomes a record with a clear owner. Someone is in charge on it. There are priorities, there is timeline, and there is also history. So instead of did someone did it, you will see in the system exactly where it is, what's going on with it, who is in charge of it, and when it's supposed to be dealt with. You can use Zoho BugTracker for internal issues such as things that are happening in your business. You can use it for client issues. You can use BugTracker for anything, but the idea is not to have those bugs and problems as just another item that need to be logged properly, because when they are reported, someone will pay for it. And it's important that it will be in the right place. The next application is Zoho RouteIQ. Zoho RouteIQ is a route planning and optimization tool, and it's useful for more than just one type of a team. It's great for salespeople who need to meet clients in person. And it's also great for field teams, technicians, installers, delivery team, anyone who needs to go from one location to another efficiently. Most businesses underestimate how much time and money they lose on routing. A salesperson drives back and forth across the city because no one planned his day properly. A technician loses hours every week because the schedule is built manually and not optimized properly. And over time, that wasted travel becomes real cost, not just fuel, but loss of capacity, loss of money, loss of productivity. RouteIQ is supposed to deal with all that. RouteIQ will give you a map where you will see all your jobs, and you can arrange the jobs. So think about it like a pool. So this week, for example, I will have 60 jobs. And then you see all those jobs on a map. And then you will have a way to organize those jobs. So Monday, this technician will concentrate in this area of the city, while a different technician will do a different area. And you can also see it based on traffic. So in some hours, it's better to take a different route because of traffic, or start from point A all the way to the technician's house, and then the route will be optimized. Now, all that ties into visibility. Management can see who is assigned and where, how many stops are planned, where delays are coming from, and where you can increase capacity. Next is Zoho FSM. Zoho FSM is built for businesses that deliver service in the field. If you have technicians going to customer locations, repairs, installations, inspections, maintenance, then the business lives and dies on dispatch, scheduling, and execution quality. Without a proper system, field service becomes crazy. Missed appointments, poor communication, technicians showing up without context, paper notes, manual updates, and invoicing that never happens or late or sometimes incorrectly. Zoho FSM brings you structure into this whole thing. You can create work orders, you can schedule technicians, you can track updates, you can manage service tasks, checklist, and keep communication consistent with the customer. Now, where FSM really becomes powerful is the connection with the rest of the Zoho ecosystem. When connected to Zoho CRM, for example, the service team has full customer context. Who is the customer, what they bought, what their history is, and what was promised. When connected to the finance apps like Zoho Books, completed work can flow into invoicing smoothly. So service delivery and billing are not disconnected. And the biggest operational benefit is visibility. Managers can see what's scheduled, what's overdue, what's in progress, and who is overloaded. So instead of field operations being something we hope is working, it becomes measurable and controlled. Zoho FSM is the tool that turns field service from manual coordination problem into repeatable, trackable system that can scale. Now, we're moving into Zoho Finance, and the first application is my favorite, Zoho Books. Zoho Books is the Zoho's accounting system. This is where invoicing, payment, banks, expenses, reporting all lives together. But the real benefit of Zoho Books isn't just doing accounting, it's what happens in finance when it's connected to the rest of the business. Because in many companies, finance is isolated. Sales closes a deal in one system, operations delivers in another, and accounting is trying to reconstruct reality after the fact. That creates delays, mistakes, and cash flow problems, and all of them are super expensive. Now, I will tell you personally, I love this application. About 7 years ago, I moved from QuickBooks to Zoho Books. One of the reasons was that when I called support and QuickBooks told me that they don't have backups. And I said, what? It's impossible. I lost my system, I need a backup. And they say, no backup, we're sorry. So that's why I left QuickBooks. On the way, I learned many more things that are existing in Zoho Books as a business owner, that obviously any business that I am operating and I will ever operate will start with Zoho Books. Once I moved to Zoho Books, a new world opened to me as a business owner. Specifically, I wanted to see profit and loss by line of business, not only for the entire company. When you're running multiple services or departments, overall profit and loss is not enough. You need to know what's profitable and what's silently losing money. That requirement pushed me to move all my businesses to Zoho Books, and I'm very happy I made the move. Now, one important note, moving from one accounting system to another is not a click of a button project. It needs to be done properly, and I want to give credit where it's due. If you're doing an accounting migration, I strongly praise Sphere Consulting for the great work that they did for me and hundreds of our customers. They've done a fantastic job handling this transition the right way, when before them, 7 praised accounting companies failed miserably. So, Zoho Books, it's not just an accounting tool. It's the financial backbone that connects sales, delivery, and billing so the business becomes faster, cleaner, and more measurable. And once finance is connected properly, you don't just see revenue, you see reality. Next, let's talk about Zoho Inventory, and also what we do when companies need more horsepower, such as manufacturing. Because we work with small and mid-sized businesses, we see this problem again and again with about 10% of our customers. As soon as the inventory becomes serious, companies start looking at enterprise systems like NetSuite. And the truth is, NetSuite is super powerful, but for most SMBs, it's just not realistic from the cost perspective. So in our company, we usually have two options that are powerful and not that expensive. The first option is Zoho Inventory. If the inventory requirements are small to mid-size, Zoho Inventory can be a fantastic fit. It's a very solid system, and the biggest advantage is that it integrates natively with Zoho Books and Zoho CRM and also other integrations. That means sales orders, inventory availability, fulfillment, and accounting can all be connected without patchwork. Now, the second option is when a company needs more horsepower, such as manufacturing, for example. When the business starts dealing with deeper ERP requirements, manufacturing, more complex operations, more complex inventory logic, more advanced fulfillment and operational control, in those cases, to match the capabilities of NetSuite without paying the NetSuite price tag, we typically go with priority ERP. And I will tell you, this wasn't something we found overnight. It took us years to find an alternative to NetSuite that doesn't lose the horsepower and stability NetSuite brings. Thanks to Sphere Consulting, Priority ERP becomes that alternative for us, and it can serve our customers that don't have the NetSuite price tag. Today we have several clients running Zoho CRM as their CRM system, fully integrated with Priority ERP for invoicing, sales order, manufacturing, and much more. So the way to think about it is simple. If your inventory and operations are in the small and mid-size range, Zoho Inventory is an excellent fit. If you need ERP level power that competes with NetSuite, Priority ERP plus Zoho CRM can give you that enterprise capabilities without the enterprise price tag. Next is Zoho Expense. Zoho Expense is designed to control one of the messiest parts of Zoho Finance in most companies: employee expenses. Usually receipts will be scattered across emails, manual reimbursements, approvals happening in chats, finance teams chasing paperwork at the end of the month. You know what I'm talking about. Zoho Expense gives you a clean system to do that. Employees can submit expenses easily, receipts can be attached and organized, expenses can be categorized and tagged to clients, projects, or departments. And then we have the approval. The approval process becomes structured. The right manager approves, finance reviews, reimbursements become consistent. Now, the big value is not just convenience. It's control when expenses are tracked properly. Leadership can see where money is going, and finance can enforce policies without consistently arguing about receipts and rules. Zoho Expense can become even more powerful when it's connected to Zoho Books, because once it's connected, approved expenses flow directly into accounting. So you reduce manual data entry, reduce mistakes, and month's end becomes easier. So Zoho Expense is not just an expense application, it's how you turn spending from chaotic manual process to something more structured, auditable, and manageable. Next is Zoho Billing. Zoho Billing is designed for businesses with recurring revenue, subscriptions, memberships, maintenance plans, retainer, anything where customers pay on a recurring schedule. Recurring revenue is amazing, but it's also operationally a nightmare. If renewals are missed, you lose revenue. If upgrades and downgrades aren't handled properly, billing becomes messy. If proration is wrong, customer gets frustrated. Zoho Billing gives you structure for all that. You can define plans and pricing, manage recurring invoices, handle renewals automatically, support upgrades, downgrades, and proration, and keep payment collection consistent. Now, here's something that I really personally like about Zoho Billing. The Zoho CRM billing flow, this is how I call it anyway. You can sell a deal, let's say a SaaS deal inside Zoho CRM, and the moment that this deal closes, you can automatically create a recurring transaction in Zoho Billing with the correct items and add-ons. No manual setup, no copying details from one system to another. It's clean and smooth. And on top of that, you can store credit card details on the profile in Zoho Billing, so you will have a recurring subscription. So once the deal is won, billing isn't just a task for someone, billing becomes automatic, like you will see with Netflix and all the big boys. In addition, Zoho Billing is also customizable, which it's a very nice system in general. Next is Zoho Checkout. Zoho Checkout is the payment collection layer for businesses that want simple, fast way to get paid. Instead of building a full e-commerce website, Checkout lets you create hosted payment pages. You can use it for one-time payments, deposits, service payments, or simple recurring payments. And what makes it super useful is the speed. You can create a payment page, generate a link, and send it to your customer over email or a text, or even embed it on a website. So for many businesses, Zoho Checkout becomes a pay now button and removes the friction and complexity. Now, the real power comes when Zoho Checkout is connected to the rest of your Zoho system. When it connects to Zoho CRM, your sales team can send payment links tied to specific leads, contacts, or deals. When it connects to Zoho Books or Zoho Billing, payments can flow into the finance side cleanly, so you reduce manual reconciliation. So instead of collecting payments being a messy manual process, it becomes structured. And when payments are easier, cash comes faster. So Zoho Checkout is not complicated. I see it as a small helper, and it's a fantastic way to collect payments online. Next is Zoho Payroll. It is a full payroll solution that is part of the Zoho Finance Suite. And the best way to understand Zoho Payroll is to see it as a flow, not as a standalone tool like other companies. Imagine a setup like this. Your employees are managed in Zoho People. They clock in, they clock out, they request vacations and time off. The system knows their salary, their role, and the policy balances. Now, at the finance side, some employees are also submitting expenses using Zoho Expense. They upload receipts, they submit reimbursements, managers approve or decline, so at any point in time, the business has two types of employee-related money movements: payroll, salary, bonuses, and pay cycles. With Zoho Payroll, the goal is that both flows come together. The payroll data from Zoho People and the approved reimbursements from Zoho Expense can flow into Zoho Payroll automatically. So when it's time to run payroll, you're not chasing information. You're not jumping between systems. You are not manually adding numbers from two different places. You are running one unified process. And this matters because in most companies, payroll is extremely manual. They run payroll in one place, they add bonuses from another timesheet, they reimburse expenses from a different system, and then they try to reconcile everything after the fact. That creates two big problems. First, it costs hours of work every payroll cycle. Second, it creates mistakes, and the employees don't appreciate payroll mistakes. It earns trust immediately. So the value of connected payroll flow is not just saving time, it's reducing errors, increasing consistency, and running payroll in a way that's predictable and professional. Next is Zoho Invoice. Zoho Invoice is the lightweight billing layer in the Zoho ecosystem. It's designed for businesses that want to send invoices, collect payments, and track who paid and who didn't, without needing a full accounting platform like Zoho Books. For many businesses, freelancers, consultants, service providers, the simplest way to get billing under control fast is Zoho Invoice. You create professional invoices, you send them to clients, you can accept payments online, and you can track overdue balances and reminders. Now, where Zoho Invoice become more powerful is when it's connected to the rest of the Zoho ecosystem. If you connect it to Zoho CRM, client details can flow automatically. Sales doesn't need to retype information. Finance doesn't need to change details. And invoices can be generated faster and more consistently. So think of Zoho Invoice as the fast billing options. For me personally, I always go with Zoho Books, because even if it's a small business or large business, I think that Zoho Books can do a fantastic job, and I personally don't see Zoho Invoice as part of the ecosystem, but obviously it's up to you. You can try it as well. And that was the end of Zoho Invoice, and this is where we finished the finance section. One note that is very important: Zoho One is just one of the bundles that you can get with the Zoho. There are many licensed bundles. I'm super happy to meet with you and help you decide which bundle and which license is right for you. I don't charge for it, not trying to sell you anything. Feel free to use the description below. Book an appointment with me. We'll see together. We'll see what license makes sense for you. Also, obviously, if you need any help with the Zoho ecosystem, we are here for you. We are releasing one episode every 3 days. So make sure to like, subscribe, and click on the bell icon for notifications so you will be notified on the next episode. In video number 4, we are going to talk about the rest of the Zoho applications. We are going to cover analytics, we're going to cover HR, recruiting, security, and many more applications. Looking forward to see you in episode number 4.